Too many people are dead or miserable for this to be normal. The K-pop industry is absolutely horrifying to me, and I mean that in the worst way. Now, this video is not meant to guilt you into feeling bad for being a K-pop stan, if you are one. It's meant to shed light on the horrible things that go down in that industry that we all pretend is perfectly normal. And we only know a fraction of what goes on, and it's pretty concerning. If you've ever been a K-pop fan, or if you are one, or even looked at a photo of Twice, you probably understand that there's a certain standard when it comes to K-pop idols. They must be skinny and hot. I mean, that's pretty much the standard, right? For a lot of companies, you don't even have to be that talented, you just have to look the part and the rest will figure itself out. You won't see a single fat K-pop idol or one with skin conditions, body hair, none of that. Even facial hair for the guys who are over 30. The whole point of K-pop idols is to manufacture to the satisfaction of the fans. A few months or years ago, I think it was sometime in 2018, Dr. Phil made a comment to Ollie London about how Jimin is a manufactured person or something along those lines, and he shouldn't aspire to be him because it's not the real him. The BTS fandom went ballistic, but the question that I have for them is, do you really believe anything he said was untrue? Every K-pop idol is a carbon copy. I'm sure they have real personalities, but that's not what's displayed on camera. It's all for the fans. Take shipping, for example. Very few K-pop ships, if any, are real. They're made up by companies to create an element of mystery within the group. Yeah, the performance was great, but did you see the way Jungkook was checking out Jimin? That alone, the idea of using queerbaiting to attract an audience, is disgusting. There are people out there writing stories, making sex audios, smart fan arts, and putting them places where the idols can see. And these are things that no doubt make them extremely uncomfortable, but these companies don't care. The suicide rates are alarming, at best. Suicide rates in South Korea are the 10th highest in the world. South Korea is not a large country, so that's extremely worrying to me. I read somewhere that at least 7 K-pop idols under 30 will commit suicide each year. The most famous ones are probably Jonghyun from SHINee, Sulli, the actress, and Guhara, but there are hundreds, if not thousands more, that aren't talked about. Trainees, smaller groups, and groups that had a failed debut. I said at the beginning of this video that too many people are dead or miserable for this to be normal. 7 people dying each year from the same industry, same country, and by the same method is terrifying. The general standard, like I said earlier, is skinny and hot. So let's talk about this for a minute. A lot of artists, for example Jimin and Momo from BTS and Twice, have confessed to having eating disorders or trouble eating in the past. Momo said that she was told to lose 15 pounds in a week, so she starved herself, eating ice cubes exclusively up until the point of her debut. She said she thought that she might even get fat from that and would exercise all the time and spit, so there was no water in her body. She would go to sleep scared that she wouldn't wake up and worried that she wouldn't be able to stand or even dance at the showcase. When she said this, her members recalled her looking, and I quote, so pale that she looked like she was dying. Jimin revealed a similar sentiment, saying that during the Wings era, he would starve himself constantly and exercise so much that he would often pass out during dance rehearsals. In this case, as far as I know, the company didn't tell him to do this, but they did worse. They profited from it. In BTS World, the mobile game for the group, there's a chapter that contains stories about Jimin's eating disorder. It's very disturbing that A, they had no trigger warnings on the chapter, and B, that they thought it was okay to exploit his struggles for profit. I'm genuinely worried for the health, both mental and physical, of these idols. Physical, because they are pretty much working all year round, producing 2 comebacks per year being the standard, and they're signed to a contract that will last them at least 7 years in that industry. Mental because, well, you know, Some of these fans are insane. If you're a part of the K-pop community, you probably know about the hate trains on a lot of artists like Jennie from Blackpink and Jungkook from BTS. Jennie was slammed for being lazy because netizens started saying that she wasn't giving her all during practices. Look, maybe she was conserving her energy for the performance, maybe she was menstruating, or maybe she was just tired. She's allowed to be tired. She, as a human, is perfectly allowed to be tired. But Blinks weren't having that. She was also exposed for dating EXO's Kai, and the exposing of their relationship, if I remember correctly, led them to break up. She made a personal Instagram where she posts pictures of she and her friends, what she's doing, where she's traveling, and stuff like that. It was very sweet. She said she wanted to do it as a gift to Blinks. And then it got hacked. Jungkook has been through a lot. Here are some of the scandals he's been involved in. The Let's Love scandal, where he once said "Let's Love," a motto of sorts for EXO, in relation to BTS, and EXOL-s went mad, spreading a photo of his face on a funeral wreath. The dating scandal, where he went to get a tattoo and was seen hugging a blonde woman, and the media and the fans went ballistic, assuming that he was dating her. The lady came out and later denied the rumors and talked about how she was harassed because of them. This one baffles me because they are perfectly fine if he's dating Jimin or Taehyung or another one of his band members, but if he's not gay, then he can't date. And most recently, the Itaewon scandal. A few months ago, Jungkook was seen at a bar with a few of his friends from other groups. Keep in mind, Korea was not on lockdown then, so it was perfectly legal for him to be doing so. But Dispatch reported it as a scandal, and people started to make up all sorts of stuff. That he was at a gay bar, that he had COVID, blah blah blah. Jungkook hasn't been on VLive in over a year, and he posts on Weverse and Twitter maybe once every 2 months if we're lucky. People always wonder why, and I'm just like, look around you. People are threatening to kill this man. They see him as someone meant to cater to their every need, or as a pawn for their ship. The answer is right in front of you. Stop asking why and confront yourself. Do you see the problem? It's like these people aren't allowed to be human. It's like they aren't allowed to have private lives without it becoming a scandal. Dispatch's objective of exposing one couple per year is weird and invasive, but fans eat it up instead of calling it out. In fact, one year they were planning to out a same-sex couple from a group, and instead of being outraged, fans were trying to beat them to it. All sorts of shippers were trying to figure out if the mystery couple was their ship. Disgusting. Every K-pop idol will constantly talk about how much they love their fans. But some of these fans let it get to their heads. They start to believe these artists belong to them. They break into their houses, they crash their cars, they try to out them. They do everything they can to ensure that the person that they claim to love has no privacy whatsoever. Now don't get me wrong, the Western music industry is not normal either, but at least they can live. At least they can date semi-openly, be whatever size, race, or sexuality, and not have their career tanked because of it. The K-pop industry and its fans genuinely scare the crap out of me. These big companies are making these copy-paste robots, using harmful tactics to get people to worship them. And they do just that. Some of these fans know exactly what's going on in that industry. They watched this video and weren't surprised by anything I said. But they don't care, as long as they get their V-Lives and their Selkas and their ship content and their 2 comebacks a year. The satisfaction of the fans is prioritized over the well-being of the idols, and it's not okay. It's not, and I don't know why we keep acting like it is. People are dying. They're being sexually assaulted. Their fans and family are being targeted. They're being given death threats. They're miserable, and nobody cares as long as they get what they want. Now, this is not necessarily the fault of the idols or even the fans. It's these companies who think so highly of themselves that they refuse to modify the policies that are hurting so many people. And these things will only get worse because the people that have the power to change it don't care enough about anybody but themselves.